Hello friends, welcome to Chrysalis Invictus. We have a relationship reading today and it's going to be a good one. I am experiencing an eczema breakout on my hands, so I'm not going to be lifting the cards and showing them to you. I'm just going to leave them there. So I do apologize if you can't see them very well. I just don't really feel comfortable, but I wanted to bring you this reading today. So what we have today, we're going to look at your energy, your person's energy. So this is a relationship reading, so you have to kind of have someone in mind. It's not necessarily for singles who are like, who's coming into my life, but if you do really feel called to watch this, feel free. So we're going to look at your energy in the relationship, your person's energy. We're going to look at what's blocking you, what's blocking them, what connects you, what is hidden in this connection, potential outcomes, and we're also going to look at your physical connection, get some advice. And as you can see, each pile, the overall energy is represented by one of these Love Path Tarot cards. So they're based on mythology or stories, which is really cool. For the first pile, you have the card of Wisdom. So this is typically the High Priestess in a deck, but we are going with that, and I'll tell you a little bit about that story if you select that pile. For pile number 2, you have Fortune. Okay, so this is the number 10 card. Typically, it is the Wheel of Fortune, so not much difference there. For pile number 3, you have number 3, Fertility. So this is the Empress card. And for pile number 4, Queen of Cups. Okay, so making your selection from your intuition or perhaps whatever card is calling to you, and I will meet you at your reading. Pile number 1, this is your reading. You chose the number 2 card, Wisdom. And as you can see, I've laid out the cards for you. So if you look over here to the left, for your energy in this connection, we have the Ace of Wands. So I feel that there is a lot of attraction. You're very inspired in this relationship, but you're also bringing that inspiration to this relationship. You feel very passionate about this person. You feel very drawn to them, magnetized to them. I do feel like you are the magnetic aspect of this relationship. And then when you look at your person's energy, they are the 10 of Pentacles. So this is someone who is kind of wrapped up in material security. They're definitely looking at their energy is long-term energy, long-term partnership energy. So you do actually have very complementary but opposite energies, I would say. This is someone who maybe potentially either comes from a big family or is interested in creating a big family. There's an emphasis on work and material stability. I feel that you are more of the creative, passionate, lively person here. The 10 of Pentacles person may have a tendency to kind of get stuck on things or have a fairly slow moving energy to them. So you're definitely the passionate person here. What I'm seeing blocking you, so this card did come out reversed, but it's the Chariot. And the Chariot often denotes a sort of decision that needs to be made or a direction that needs to be taken. In this case, it was reversed. So it's telling me that you're blocked by feeling stuck. So there's something here that is stuck in this connection, in this relationship. And I feel that it is something to do with this material security aspect. I feel that there could be some kind of communication difficulties here between you and your person. Like there is some kind of, I want to say, you don't understand potentially the gestures that they make, like their feelings or how they express themselves doesn't really make you feel like things are moving forward. So maybe you feel like this isn't moving forward fast enough, or that it's not progressing at all, depending on your particular relationship, but there's definitely a stuck energy here. There's the need for change or momentum from you, and it just kind of feels like that's not available. Now, what's blocking them? It's self-limiting beliefs. It's looking in the mirror and thinking, I'm not worthy, or it's thinking, having trust issues. I really feel like this person can get caught up in their head. And so what's blocking your person and what's blocking you, again, is being stuck. But for you, it's kind of like feeling like you're stuck moving forward. It's almost a physical thing. So maybe you haven't physically connected. Maybe you haven't, hooked up or something like that. Or maybe you haven't done that in a while because, and if you're wondering why, it's because your person is stuck in their head. Okay, so this is someone that kind of keeps their hands to themselves. And we are going to look at the sexual energy later, but I do see already with their sexual energy is the Hanged Man, so it's kind of like being in suspension. And I do feel like a lot of you are coming here to kind of ask about that. Like, why is this going on in my relationship? Why are we stuck? Why are we not being as physical? Maybe there was a time, if you've been together for a while, where you were really physical, but it's just kind of stopped. So what is connecting you is the Moon and the Queen of Wands. Okay, so this is a very mystical, magical connection. There's this chemistry, there's an aspect to it that you can't really put into words. There's a kind of mysterious element to this connection that I feel that you don't really have to explain it to people. I feel that other people may not even be able to explain it, but they can feel it. There's this deep current of emotional passion, and it's almost like you have a very strong I don't like 5D, but like spiritual connection. I mean, if you do resonate with 3D, 5D, and speaking in those terms, it's sort of like when someone says that you're connected in the 5D, like your relationship there is very solid. It's very unified. You're very much together. But it seems like in your lived reality, it kind of moves slower, or it gets stuck, or it stalls. And there are self-limiting beliefs, especially on the part of your person, that keep it kind of slow. But what connects you is this beautiful mystery. It's like you share, you may be able to meet in your dreams. I feel like this is something you would have to guide your person to. I feel that you are also very much empathically connected, like you can feel each other really well, and this is what makes your sexual connection really, really potent. You also have the ability to manifest together. So these are the potentials. If that isn't what's going on in your relationship at this time, just know that this is the energy that is present. This is what is available to you in this relationship, right? So what's hidden is the Tower. So there's some kind of foundation that is beneath, I want to say it's beneath you, but there's also something to do with, because we have the Tower and we have the Hermit. So it's almost like you need, if there is a period of separation, okay, so if there is some separation in this connection, or stalling, stagnation, where you kind of feel like you don't really know where this is going. Like, I do feel like your person is not very forthcoming with their emotions. I feel like they're not very good at communicating them. I do feel like a lot of their expression comes out physically, especially with the Ten of Pentacles. That's a very tactile kind of energy. So you may feel it, and again, with that empathic connection, you may feel this, but there's this sense of like removal almost. It's like the relationship has to fall apart to come back together. A tower can indicate some kind of epiphany. It can be like that aha moment, so that there is something coming that is really going to make things click for you. The other part of this, though, is I feel like there could be some kind of if there was some, and this is not for everyone, so please just understand, and this would be something that you know about. I feel that it is on your part as well, but you may be looking elsewhere, or you may be kind of reflecting back on past lovers or something like that, or you may be looking outside of your relationship for physical connection. Now, if you're not fully monogamous or together, that is one thing. If you are, that's a whole other thing. So that could be the dissemblance that I'm seeing here. This is where a foundation crumbles. This is where something that was not built solidly crumbles. Okay, so if you are the one that is fast burning, as I see in this relationship, maybe you have this impulsive nature to drive things forward, and your person is more slow and methodical, and you're like, well, I can't wait for that. So then you start to burn it all down. You start to self-sabotage in that way. Now, your person is also self-sabotaging by avoiding, by pulling back, by going inward, okay? So what's hidden in their energy is this hermit, is this, isolation, the need to, I almost feel like they need to heal, and they need to get themselves right, especially with the anxious energy that's around them, the belief that they're not worthy, the belief that they are, maybe not a match for you. They feel very passionately for you, but they are in need of some time to themselves to really draw energy into themselves. So you may take their separation or this period of time where you're apart or where you're just not as together as rejection, and then start to sabotage. However, what I have to say is that sabotage is important. Okay, so even if that's what you're doing, it's almost like in doing that, you end up having the right, and this is the important part, is that you have to have a conversation about it after, right? And to explain where each of you is coming from. So if that is able to happen, if you're able to move beyond this hermit, this period of separation, and this could have already happened, so you may be looking at this and going, okay, yeah, we've already been there, so then just take it from there. Or this could be something that is forthcoming. We've got a number of people watching, so just take it how it resonates. And then we see the Seven of Pentacles. So I see you slowing. This is the outcome position, okay? So in your potential outcome for this relationship, we have the Seven of Pentacles and we have the Ten of Swords. So this could be a really positive thing, either for the relationship staying together or for the relationship, like for each of you, if you separate, okay? And if you separate, or if you are in separation, this is something that you are already thinking about. Like, this isn't me placing this idea in your head, right? Okay, and please read my disclaimer about relationships in the description box below. Okay, so for you, I see you slowing down. I see this Tower moment teaching you to slow down and really, truly take stock and evaluate what you have in this relationship, what you have in this person, what this person is offering. This person has a very earthy energy. Virgo is here, as well as fire sign. So Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. And then I'm also getting, with all of the swords energy, this is a person that thinks a lot. So they may have prominent air placements, but they don't have to. Virgo is also ruled by Mercury. So it could be that they have a lot of Virgo placements. It could be that none of that is true. Just go with your gut. But if that affirms something for you, excellent. So yeah, so for you, this is you slowing down, taking stock, truly evaluating what it is that you have available to you here in this relationship. And I think that's going to be key, because I think that while you are the passion and the movement and the force behind this relationship, when things aren't running at your pace, you may get frustrated. And it feels like this person really cares about you. They're very attracted to you. You have a very deep empathic soul kind of connection, which does not mean that you have to stay in this relationship, but it does mean that there is a lot there. So it's for you to evaluate, like, is it worth slowing down to make this work? Can we build a foundation? Because this person needs, with the Ten of Pentacles, this person needs a really strong foundation. They also need a lot of loyalty from you. They want to feel incredibly safe. And you have this really inspiring, bright energy, but that's not always the safest, so I do think that there are layers within you here with the Seven of Pentacles coming out. There's a layer to you that can evoke that feeling of safety. So it may be about accessing that. Now, for their part, they are coming to the end of this anxious cycle, or a certain way of thinking with the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is like hitting rock bottom. So this separation and this Tower moment, the Tower moment being a falling apart or some kind of big argument, it is a much needed and divinely sanctioned argument and falling apart moment. And it leads them to hit rock bottom. Okay. So it leads them, just as this moment is forcing you into a time of reflection, taking stock, evaluating what it is that you have. It's like an inventory kind of thing. Kind of taking a break from that forward momentum, maybe being by yourself for a minute, a nice minute. What they're doing is they're hitting rock bottom. They're feeling the most amount of pain. They're seeing the worst case scenario mentally. They've reached that point. And from that point, we have that decision to start again. So this leads, the Ten of Swords leads to an epiphany. So it's almost like a series of epiphanies going off, like a series of bombs in your relationship, where a bunch of things will start to happen in succession, and then at the end of it, it's up to you to determine what comes of it. I see a new cycle starting for your person, going back to the beginning. We have the two tens, so it feels like this person is actually growing and learning. So your person is growing and learning, if that helps you to decide or to move forward. Okay. So what I'm seeing for you here in terms of physical connection, in your energy, we have the Wheel. So this feels like fate. When your physical connection feels really meant to be, it feels very intuitive. It feels very and with the Queen of Wands connecting you, I do feel like you may have, and I mentioned this on my channel without a lot of explanation, but if you're familiar with sex magic, you may have those kinds of energies between you. You may feel that it is cosmic. I'm seeing really, really good orgasms here between the two of you, or that this is what is possible. I do feel like it's going to be tricky with this person being in their head. So if you're cross-watching and you feel you resonate more with the Ten of Pentacles, just know that the issues are more to do with getting out of your head and getting into your body. Okay. And that's the interesting thing, is that this person, your person is very expressive with their body. That that's a kind of Taurus energy where it's very sensual. It's earthy. It's very sensual. But when they get in their head, it blocks that sensuality. So they start to overthink the way that they touch, or the way that they do things. They get in their head, but they are very skilled lovers when they are out of their head. And I do feel like with the Hanged Man, there is this kind of, that is your person's sexual energy. And the Hanged Man is ruled by Pisces. So it's an emotional one. And there's this like emotional admiration that this person wants to show to you through your physical connection, through your sex life. Okay. So they very much admire your body. They like to look at you. They like to look at pictures of you. They would like to receive pictures throughout the day, I feel like. So if you're looking for a way to spruce up your relationship, that could be, an option. I do feel like there is this kind of level of frivolity that maybe you hit sometimes. Maybe that was what happened in the beginning of the relationship, where you had a lot of passion and there was a lot of play and there was a lot of fun and there was a lot of freedom, and then your person started to get into their head and you started to get kind of chasey, which made them shut down a little bit. And then it leads to this tower moment. So there is a lot of beautiful connective energy here, but it is kind of in suspension. So I do feel like your physical connection is not really what it could be right now, but it has a tremendous amount of potential in the in going forward. So one of the things I do want to say is that if it is stalled out and you are with this person and in communication with this person, you may want to, start to play around with those photos, start to play around with sharing almost like, like that cosmic connection, making it mythic. This is actually something I was reflecting on this morning, is that for some people, for those people who need to make meaning in their lives, making meaning can involve a narrative that is just between two people. Okay, so the significance of this relationship that is just between the two of you. And if you need to make it a story of, if you need to make it a story, if you need to make it into two mythic characters coming together in order to make that space of play and imagination, to override your Ten of Pentacles, your person's over analysis, that's going to really help to kickstart things. But I do think that there's a lot that actually has to happen, that the universe is pushing forward for the both of you. Okay, so I wanted to look into your overall energy. It's the High Priestess, and we have what connects you here as the moon, and both are ruled by Pisces. You also have strong Cancer energy, and when I'm doing a love reading, I'm more interested in what your Venus sign is. So I'm seeing for you, it's like you have your Mars and your Venus for your sexual and your emotional connection are very water and fire based. Okay, so Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, and Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. And for your person, they are showing up as Pentacles. So, well, they have fire present, so they may have a rising or a sun sign that is a fire sign, but underneath it, the Venus or the Mars could be in an air sign, so Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or Earth, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Okay, so that's really what I'm seeing in terms of astrology. Now, the other thing about Pisces kind of ruling your relationship, and you don't have to have any Pisces placements, it's kind of the space between you is Piscean, which is the space of dreams, wisdom, knowledge. It feels like not only do you share a very strong psychic bond, but you also have very strong intellectual connection, or you're very interested in having long conversations with each other. This could be part of what has bonded you. The story, as I was saying, there was this narrative element where it was like, tell stories to boost your sex life and to boost your connection. And I wanted to share with you this story here. So this is the lovers, Shahrazade and Shahriyar. I'm so sorry. If you know how to actually say that, I really apologize. I know that that's wrong. But it says, over the course of 1001 nights, Shahrazad, the wise bride of King Shahriyar. No, I'm so sorry. I'm also channeling, so I can't see. So I'm trying to read this as best as I can. Tells many compelling stories. Her wisdom won the king's love and trust. In doing so, she saved her life, as well as those of her fellow women of the kingdom. Wisdom gained from education. Right. Okay. So there could be a connection here, an intellectual connection, like maybe you met at school. But there's also this aspect of using wisdom to transform a situation, using stories to transform a situation. So maybe you share stories, maybe you share poems rather than, trying to analyze things intellectually. If both of you can kind of get caught up in that space, try bringing it into the realm of imagination, into poetry, maybe song lyrics. What I'm seeing here with caution, it says tread softly so as not to disturb the woodland floor. This is what I feel you've been doing. The advice is not to be as cautious, okay? I feel that is more the advice for your person because they have a tendency to be very restrained, and it's holding back the relationship. It's keeping it stuck. Don't be afraid of this tower, of letting this tower fall, of having that confrontation, of having that falling apart, because with what is available to both of you, this really could come back together stronger and better than ever. Don't pick a fight, but just don't try to avoid it. I feel like, the woodland floor here is the foundation of the tower, and I feel like you may have been tiptoeing around this person's kind of sensitivities, and maybe to the detriment of your own needs and desires. So free and open communication about your needs and desires. And it says cleanse. Wash your weary spirit clean and take a walk in the wooded glades. This is where that period of separation, I feel like going to nature obviously is always a good idea. For you, you may want to spend a lot of time with water and really cleanse yourself in that way. But also for both of you, it's like a spiritual cleanse as well. It could be that you're bringing energies into this connection, or you were bringing energies into this connection that need to be gone before you can continue on and be together. Okay, so that is what I have for you. I hope this was helpful. Please comment, like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Okay, so if you chose pile number 2, this is your reading represented by the Fortune card, the story of Zeus and Dana. We'll get to that later. Although I will say, when I first saw that and then I drew the Emperor card, I thought that was kind of funny. There is a very strong theme in this reading. So let's take a look first at your energy in this connection. You are showing up as the High Priestess. Number 2, the High Priestess is very intuitive, wise. I feel like you are showing up almost on a pedestal or as something ethereal or separate. You may be very seemingly unapproachable, or this person may have you on some kind of, like a pedestal, like a muse, or like they worship you, because that's but you're also showing up in this way as someone who is very connected to themselves and their spirit and to their emotions, and is able to self-satisfy. I want to say that you are showing up as someone who could take it or leave it, but not in an attitude kind of way, more in a patiently watching and waiting kind of way. The High Priestess is very satisfied within herself, and so that is the kind of energy that you're showing up with. Then for your person, we have the Queen of Pentacles. This is a fairly slow-moving energy. Some of my reading through this spread, by the way, I positioned them upright, but some of them came out reversed, and so my readings will reflect that. Okay, with the Queen of Pentacles, I feel like your person is showing up as someone who is very independent and potentially disinterested. Already, before we've even looked at the blockages, I feel in this connection, I feel like there's a bit of a standoff where it's like, I'm cool being alone, and the other person is like, I'm cool being alone. And it's because each of you really knows how to take care of yourself, okay? So neither one of you is coming to this relationship out of a place of need or dependency necessarily. It's more like you are interested. Your interest has been piqued. I feel like your person with this Queen of Pentacles energy has a kind of, I want to say a keen intellect. I feel like they have a really substantial mind and ability to make strong investments and things like that. Like they have a head for finance, I want to say. And they're also someone who home is very important to, nurturing. So they're a nurturing energy as well. This could indicate that they are an earth sign, and in my love readings I like to emphasize above all usually the Venus. So their Venus could be in Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. And for you, yours may be in Pisces. But I'm also getting Libra. Okay, anyway, so let's move on. In the blockages, for you, is the Lovers. Okay? This could be someone that is in your life already. Someone, it could be a Gemini. I don't think it is. I think this is a situation where you are looking for divine love and nothing else will do. You're okay to be alone unless or until, I'm having such a hard time talking through this pile. I don't know what it is. I guess we'll find out. But you may be having a wall up or a resistance to, if there is someone that you thought was your twin flame or your soulmate and they're still in your life, you may have some resistance to letting them go. Or this could indicate, there's a couple of different messages. This could also indicate that what's blocking you is your idea of who that person will be. Your idea of who your soulmate or twin flame may be. So that could indicate that this person is not who you expected, or that you don't feel that they are at this time. What's blocking your person is the Knight of Pentacles, and he actually came out reversed. Okay, so this means that there's no movement. This person is not taking any actions towards you, and I really feel like that is obviously keeping things stuck. It's almost like if they were taking action, then you would maybe turn your eye to them. You may not know. I know you asked about a relationship, but I feel like for some of you, you're asking about one relationship and another one is coming through. Like you may not know that your soulmate is coming, or that they are looking at you, or that they are out there, because they're not taking any action. And so you are looking at this other person because the person that you're asking about, this earth sign, is not taking any action. I also feel like this person doesn't know if they have enough to offer you. With that pedestal kind of energy, and with you being so independent, it's almost like, is there anything to offer this person? Because from the outside, it looks like you are very together and you don't really need anyone. And I don't think you do need anyone, but I do see with the Lovers that there is a strong desire. It feels like you are aware, because you are so intuitively tuned in, that you are aware that there is someone out there. There is a very, very deep partnership, and that is what you are, I don't want to say holding out for, but that's what you have your eye out for. But I think there's a message here that you may have your eye out, you may be looking for it, or you may be keeping your eye out, but you may be like almost skipping over someone, I want to say, and that could be the other person that's coming in. For those of you where that isn't the story, this could be that you have, in this person, you have found your whatever you want to call it, your twin flame, your soulmate, your life partner. There's definitely an air of stability here, and you are freaked out. Okay, what's blocking you is how deeply you feel connected to this person. And you feel so deeply connected, and they're not taking any action, and it's just creating this like kind of almost like a panic, like it's making you not chill. And I think that when you're sitting in your high priestess energy, you're like, I'm cool, I'm chill on the spiritual level, but then once it's brought into the emotional level or into the physical, where there's no action being taken, there's no offer being made, it starts to make you panic. What connects you here, I see, is the King of Pentacles. So much Pentacle energy. The King of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles. So literally what connects you is this person moving forward. Okay? For some of you, that's the story. We'll get to the other narrative. But for some of you, we see, the Queen going to be the Knight, and then coming up King. Okay? So there's this like, I already feel very strongly that I want to nurture this person. They retreat back to being a knight, nothing happens, and then they come out as the king, and they're like you, because they never let go of you. You never let go of each other. There's a physical connection here as well. This could be really good cuddles. I feel like cuddling, I feel like the cuddling between the two of you is top notch. It's top shelf. But this is the other thing where it's like, your physical connection is the way that your physical connection is the one way that you would really know that this person is interested in you. Like, it's almost like the offer has to be made in the physical connection. Like this is how they express themselves. So when they're thinking like, how do I bring an offer forward, or how do I take action? Part of it is actually being in your physical presence and expressing themselves physically, because that is a strong connection. The other thing that really connects you is loyalty. So I feel like you have known this person for a long time. So if you're in the camp of people where you don't really know who this is, where there's this person that you're scanning the horizon for, and you don't know who and you're not seeing them, even if they're like right in front of your face. If you're in the camp of people who that story is resonating with you, this is a person who you have potentially known for a really long time. You may have known them in I want to say your childhood, even going back to being 4 years old, or being, you met them in kindergarten or something like that. And they've just kind of been in your world for a long time, but you wouldn't really think of them because maybe you haven't had a lot of interactions with them recently. For others of you, this started as some kind of work relationship, business relationship, or school relationship. Okay, so you met in some kind of way where you were both, where one or both of you was working, and you connected very much I feel like you make a really good team, okay? I feel like this connection is really, they work really well together and make really excellent partnership, and each of you embodies this king energy. So it's like when you are connected with each other, you level up, you boss up, money starts flowing, the job starts going well. It's almost like you partner up, and this is especially if you're feeling that this is the twin flame situation, or the deep soul connection, past life connection situation. This is where you almost start to borrow their knowledge. It's like when you are with this person, when you are in connection with this person, you somehow magically have the knowledge that they have. You have the abilities that they have. It's like you start to share you create like a collective brain almost. You create a collective skill set. So they really help you to progress in your career. They really help you to progress in your home life as well. Because I do see this as being a connection where you very much have, you know, abundance of all varieties, and that's what connects you. Other shadowy things that may connect you, and I feel like you may not be aware, especially because this is a Queen of Pentacles person, they could be extremely jealous, okay? So they could be a person who feels very possessive of you, and I feel like there is this aspect of you that likes to feel not... I don't know how to say this without it sounding like politically inappropriate. It's like you like to be possessed. You like the idea, it makes you feel safe to feel like someone wants you in that way. So it could be that you had insecure attachments and their level of like, you're with me, feels like almost like having a personal bodyguard. It feels really safe. Okay, so that's why I'm saying it's not really, I mean, it could be, there are shadow aspects there. So beware of the jealousy, beware, like definitely work on those kinds of things, work on how possessive you are of each other. But I do feel like a lot of it is to create that safe bond, that you each need that safety or that stability to create that safe bond. What is hidden that you cannot see is that there is an aspect of trauma from your past, particularly relational trauma, and particularly relational trauma with partners, but it could be that the relational trauma from partners was also reflective of something from your younger years, your childhood, what have you, where this trauma is still in your energy. So maybe you think you've moved past it, but this is what is hidden. So it's blocking out the sunlight of this connection. It's blocking this connection even further. And it's why you are so afraid of this deep connection. Now, for others of you where this person, there's this other person, so you were asking about one person, and this other person is kind of being like, hey, you can't see me, but I'm here. For those of you where that's the situation, this is telling you that the person that you came here asking about may be a reflection of those traumas. Okay, so they may have similar behaviors that are just kind of perpetuating what you feel you are worth. So there is this aspect of, you know, even though you hold yourself as the high priestess, even though you hold yourself in kind of a high spiritual place, I feel like emotionally there are some difficulties here from your past where it's a fear. It's a very acute fear. And this is a powerful fear because it's the energy of the sun, okay? So you actually take action on these fears. So this could be like shutting people out. This could be picking fights. It could be moving away. It could be, getting into a different physical relationship in order to just kind of be like, oh, no, palate cleansed kind of thing. So that's something to be aware of in what's hidden. But what's also hidden here is this bright, bright energy, okay? Is this beautiful, active, generative, creative energy. So once you have addressed what is still lingering and what is hiding there in your shadows, that releases all of this light that starts to create a new situation. So it either recreates this relationship or creates the relationship with that person who is, hiding in the background, depending on your story. It's always confusing when two very distinct storylines come through. I hope that you're able to follow. Okay, and then for what is hidden as well, we have the Five of Pentacles. I feel like your person feels shut out. I feel like you are thinking that they potentially have rejected you, or it could be that Yeah, I just keep hearing salty. Things are salty. And they feel that that you have put them out in the cold, that you have left them, they feel abandoned. Okay, so it's interesting because I feel like here with the trauma, you may resonate with that. You may feel that they have abandoned you, and this is something that you share. You both feel like you've abandoned each other. So in that way, there's a bit of a stalemate, but the more powerful energy is really in your court. Okay, you are the one that is holding the spark of life for this relationship, if you will. Okay, so what I'm seeing for the outcome energy is the Emperor. The Emperor did come out reversed, and this is just this is some kind of advice to warn you against trying to control the situation or trying to control the outcome based on these triggers of the Sun reversed. Okay, so when we're not seeing them reversed, but I did pull them reversed, and so that is the advice with that pairing. Beware of the actions you take or the authority that you project based on past fears, past shadows, that sort of thing. With the coupling of the Sun and the Emperor, this is showing me that you have a really, really beautiful potential for coming into your power through this relationship in a new way, balancing your feminine and masculine, and feeling a new sense of, I want to say, agency. And then we have the King of Chalices, which also came out reversed. So what I'm getting here is that there is some emotional, in a situation where there's another person coming in for you, this is a situation where you were controlling too much. They were emotionally manipulative. They may make you feel guilty. They may make you feel ashamed of yourself. And so if you are walking away to go into and with the promise of this other person who's an earth sign, who's very, very interested in you, then just know that the person that you're leaving behind is someone who is very much stuck in a shadowy energy emotionally. They do not forgive you. So even if they answer your phone call, they do not forgive you. There could be underlying, plots for revenge, that kind of thing. And, it's something it's pretty icky. I think if you get a little bit of distance from them, you'll see it fairly quickly, that it's fairly icky, okay? But in the situation where you're coming together with the person, with your divine counterpart, let's say, this is really powerful. This is like a deep, deep emotional connection, but it's also, again, a really strong business connection. I feel like you meet on many different levels. This is indicating that there is an element of passion, an element of emotional understanding, and a shared goal or destination. So with the Zeus Emperor reversed, King of Cups reversed, I want to say for the scenario where there is a new person coming in and the old person is someone that we were talking about, he's represented by Zeus, the Emperor reversed, or they are represented by these figures, okay? So this is someone who maybe cheated on you and then said that it was your fault somehow. This is someone who is capable of deception. There could be a scenario, not for a majority of you, but there could be a scenario where they fathered a child with someone else. This is someone who misuses their power and makes you feel out of control. And that's where they're re-triggering that wound that you consistently have, right? So in the other scenario, on the flip side, we're looking at divine counterparts, okay? The physical connection for you is the 9 of Wands. So it's very passionate. It can sometimes be overwhelming. I feel like there is this element, however, of shelter and safety that you feel. like a stability, shelter, safety. I feel like you guys are the kind of couple who makes eye contact. You are the kind of lover who is very attentive to your person's defenses. Okay, so you are very aware of what makes them comfortable and what doesn't, and attuned to that. There could be a number of things that make them uncomfortable at first. I feel that this person is fairly physically reserved, and a lot of that has to do with the physical connection is very emotional for them. Okay, so it's a deep expression of their feeling. I think I said that earlier, actually, that it's a deep expression of their feeling. And so here, the Six of Cups is kind of like, it's really sweet and it's really innocent. So it may be that sometimes they feel really vulnerable, and there's a need to kind of be gentle with that, okay? It will also, I think for your person, it feels deeply connected to past life. It feels like this is a cosmic thing. There's a deep and strong connection. It's what they've always been waiting for. It's what they've always imagined or dreamed of, and what they've tried to create with other people. For those of you who are leaving a situation behind where we have this toxic kind of energy, what I'm seeing here is that this person pushed your boundaries, and maybe to be an amenable partner, again, being sensitive to that person, and being really passionate, you kind of went along with it, but there were things that you did that were uncomfortable. There were boundaries that were pushed that went too far, and that you know what the extent of that is, but I'm just reminding you to justify or to help to support you in the walking away process, okay? That there was a kind of, I feel like there was a lot of manipulation in this relationship. And then with the Six of Cups, it's this kind of like, it's like physically draining. You may have cried afterwards. You may have had like really bad emotions. You may have felt really abandoned right after, because I feel them pulling away. I feel them being very destructive without really taking responsibility for or acknowledging their own issues. Okay, so for that situation, I just want to be clear that I see that there is a lot that is wrong with that situation, if that's what you were asking about. And then it's so weird because we have this like really, really beautiful connection like right alongside another one, and it's almost like they look like the same thing. So I feel like for some of you, you may be listening to this other scenario where you're like, no, that's a person from my past. I'm not with that person now. And that's an indication that this new person, there may be some things that seem similar, but they're not, they're different. Okay? And the difference is that they show up. The difference is when they are mindful, when they care, when they are willing to work with you. They're willing to be there and support you through everything. And they're not just hanging on because it's a trauma bond, or because, they get from you and you don't really get anything from them. Okay? So I do trust that you'll know the difference. All right, so with what connects you, let's come back to the Fortune card. This indicates that there is an aspect of, divine connection, which we've seen throughout all of the different cards. There is this, it truly feels like they came into your life for a reason. And in both scenarios, they did. Okay, so in one scenario, it's because they're karmic. In another scenario, it's because they're a divine connection. So this is kind of affirming that to be true. Now with Dana and Zeus, she was the daughter of King Chrysalis, a princess with a curse. For upon her birth, it was predicted that one of the princess's offspring would kill the king. This is a story that's also reflected in Celtic mythology. That's the story of Lu. So if you're into Celtic stuff, that's a little factoid for you. When Dana came of age, the king walled her within a tower made of bronze. Despite this, Dana was loved by Zeus, and together they had a son named Perseus. Perseus grew into a strong man, and after many adventures, he did slay Chrysalis, a just punishment for treating his only daughter with cruelty. Okay, I'm definitely getting that there are, with that triggering, that there could be father issues here or issues with older men or something of that nature. I do feel like there was cruel treatment in the past, and this is telling you that things will come right. So if you are stuck in that toxic bond, that things are going to come right, that you're, it's funny because Zeus in this story is the rescuer, and in the other story, he is, while he's rescuing Dana, he's making a child with another person on Hera. You know what I mean? So it's that the two sides of the emperor here that we're looking at with Zeus. But in this situation, and what with the one going forward, it's that fortune will make things right, I think, is the thing to lean on here. And for advice, we have Zinnia, absence. What is not here is the key. Okay? And that is in both situations, right? What is not here is the key. And what is not there is that consideration of you, of empathy. I want to say that for some of you, this is they're really skilled at what they do. Like, this person can make you feel like maybe you have a lot of conversations where it's like, oh yeah, we talked about it. It was a great talk. And now they're going to try and do this. And then they never do it, right? If they never do it, if they keep breaking that cycle, just pay attention. Okay. So what is here, not here is the key. And that's the same thing. What is not here is the key in this relationship, this beautiful relationship moving forward, and what is not there is the abuse, okay? Is the past trauma, is that feeling of like, not again, or is this happening again? Is this happening again? And there may be a period of time, if you've known this person for a very long time, there may be that long period of time where you can't be with them because you've got to figure out how to trust yourself. And I think on a spiritual level, things, but I think once it comes into the body, once it comes into the emotions, once it comes into the tangible world, it becomes a lot more difficult to discern. Mexican marigold, renewal, time to begin again, stronger and better. So this could indicate a renewal of this, friendship or this relationship from the past, or it could be, to talking about that walking away and then starting again. I feel like it's a person from the past. Either way, it's a person from your past, I feel very strongly. Okay, and then we have the Lenten Rose, protection, conserve what you have, save a little. This is really, I want to say it's really asking you to lean on those aspects of the High Priestess, on your spiritual practice, on your sense of knowing, and allow Spirit to help you untangle this trauma and this mess from the past. Then we have Camellia. I don't know. Peace. Be calm and calm will come. Yeah. And again, it's like, when we first saw the Queen of Pentacles and the High Priestess, they have a very similar kind of energy. They're sitting inside of themselves. So it's telling you that you're attracting what you need, or that you are able to attract what you need now. So if you're still in a situation that is not right for you, just know that leaving that situation, taking some time, realigning yourself will help you to call in that person. So that's what I have for you, pile number 2. Thank you so much for joining. Take care. If you chose pile number 3, or Cleopatra and Caesar, the card Fertility, this is your reading. These readings have been really meaty, actually. I didn't expect them to have this much information, but they are, buckle up, buttercup, get yourself a drink. Pause this if you need to, make yourself comfortable, because we have some stuff to talk about. All right, so in your energy, we're starting off with some kind of conflict or resistance. So I feel like your energy toward this relationship is resistance. First and foremost, there's a kind of back and forth maybe in your head where you're like, I'm attracted to them, but I can't be, but I am, but I can't be. And part of it is that you can't figure out how to make it work or how this can work. And as we move forward, you'll see why. For your person, they have this really beautiful, sweet, innocent love toward you. They feel like you are, a soul friend. They feel like you are home to them. They have this really beautiful, pure love for you. So they're showing up as the 6 of Cups. This could indicate that they have loved you for a very long time as well. And so this love has grown through times of innocence, or in times when you were more innocent. And I feel like there are just some really tricky details and conflicts that are happening in this connection that are really a hang up for you. Now, what I see in your blocked energy is the World. This, to me, so for a lot of you that are watching, I feel like this is a long-distance connection, okay? So it could be that you live in different parts of the world. It could be that you are just living in different cities, and one of you has your whole world in that place, okay? I feel for some of you, it's your person. So, just because of the cards that are coming up, it could be that your person, let's say, for instance, has younger children, and you live in the US and they live in Australia, and you don't have children. And so it's kind of like, in order for this connection to work, you would have to move to Australia. Or that both of you have established worlds and you are not really willing. I'm feeling like what's blocking you is you're not really willing to give up your life as it is right now. The other thing that I'm seeing is that a cycle has not yet closed out for you, okay? So it's closing out at the moment, but like in this present moment when you're watching this, it's not done yet. So there's something that is not done yet, and it needs to be done in order for this relationship to move forward. And it could be that you are in another relationship, or it could be that you are in a certain work contract or something like that, and it just kind of needs to, I'm hearing for some of you, it's you have an older parent or something like that, like someone that you are taking care of or someone that you need to be close to, and so you have to be where you are. What's blocking them is, and I put all of the cards upright, but I do note when they come up reversed, and the Strength card has come up reversed for them. Oh, I also wanted to mention, you may be a fire sign, Sagittarius, Leo, Aries, and because it's a love reading, I like to look at it as your Venus and your Mars would be in something fire, and your person would be water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Okay? Not for all of you, but that's out there in case you're wondering. So for your person, there's a kind of, hesitation. What's blocking them is they don't really feel that they have the courage. So if it's on them to move, if it's the long distance situation, if it's on them to move, they don't really feel like they have the courage to do that. They don't really feel like they know how to do that. And with the 5 of Wands in your energy, I feel like you're trying to problem solve this situation. I really feel like you're trying to problem solve this relationship, where your person is more I want to say that they're the emotional and passionate base of the relationship, but they have some fears, they have some limitations, and they have this idea of themselves that they are not the kind of person who does that, or that they are not able to pull that off, or that is too dynamic of a move for them, that kind of thing. That they're just not that kind of person. Also, if you're dealing with someone who has especially Cancer in Venus or Cancer placements, Cancers take a really long time to decide something. So it may take a long time for them to muster this courage. Meanwhile, you're there trying to problem solve this and make something happen, make some action happen. But what I'm seeing is that there is a strong passion. There is a strong passion or attraction coming from your person, and this is also a blockage for them. It could be that they feel like they're too old to have this. Like there's all these kind of like, it's like, but, or like what would you want with a person like them? Or that they are the kind of person who gets to have like crazy hot sex or something like that. Like there's this, attraction that almost makes them feel uncomfortable. Like I feel like they've never been as attracted to someone as they are to you. It's like they're magnetized to you. And I feel that you very much feel, again with the world, there's so many analogies there, but it's almost like you feel like they could be your whole world, or what is being asked of you, especially if you have to move, is to make this person your whole world, and they are in that blocked energy. So it would kind of feel like uncertainty, even though the strong feelings are there. It would kind of feel like, what am I actually walking into? Like, are you sure you want this? And they're just really afraid, I feel. What connects you is the 8 of Pentacles, okay? Both of you are willing to put work into this. Both of you are willing to put work into this relationship. You have also the Justice card that connects you. So I feel like there's a sense of balance, like maybe what one person is good at, the other person isn't, and you just kind of level off. But I really feel like more energetically, it's that there's this level feeling between the two of you. Like you are just kind of calmed by the existence of each other. And there could be, again here, the need, what's connecting you both is this need to go through a legal process to, if you're moving countries or something like that, to figure out the paperwork, especially like if you're watching this when there's still COVID restrictions, then maybe that's something that is in the way. But what's connecting you is that you're both needing to jump through, I feel like move through a lot of like legal or administrative hurdles in order to make this relationship happen, but you're both willing to put in the work. It's just you have this kind of frustration, I want to say, and they have this fear. So that's kind of what's going on there. What is hidden from you is the 5 of Cups. Or what is hidden from this connection in general is the 5 of Cups and the 7 of Cups. Okay, so what I'm really getting from this is that there is a feeling of grief that is hidden here. Okay, someone is really, and I think it's you. I think that there is a feeling of loss and grief already in this relationship. I feel like it could also be a past life thing. You may want to look into that, but it's kind of like you miss life before this relationship started happening, and you almost feel guilty for feeling that way because you do love this person so much, but do you love this person so much? For some of you, that may be true. For some of you, I feel like you're very much questioning this. This is what's hidden. You're questioning how much you love this person. You know that they love you. I think that you can feel that they love you, but there's this kind of, like, you're still holding on to what you're going to lose. Let's say if you have to relocate. Or you're holding on to what they're going to lose. And that's something, you know, with working out all those details, you may be thinking about that. Like, what are they walking away from? What are they, you know, what sacrifices are they making for me? And then with the Seven of Cups, this is about choices. So this is about, you know, all these different options. And it's like, I also feel like your person may not feel as secure emotionally. Like, again, they have a lot of that kind of like, well, why would they want to be with me? Or, you know, maybe they feel like you are too good looking for them or too young for them or something. There's some kind of aspect to this relationship where they're feeling like they're not enough. And so that's their fear. And that they're not bold enough, and so they are looking at you thinking, you have so many options, why would you choose me? And this is kind of what's operating in the background. The other thing could be that each of you is starting to actually entertain other options in this situation, that there is a kind of, because this grief is hidden and not really talked about, I feel like if you are in a long distance situation, especially if there's a lot of distance, it almost doesn't serve to talk about the grief because you can't be with each other. You can't comfort each other physically. And so it's a conversation that you're just not having. And it's pushing you kind of through this beautiful, innocent love into a space of like, okay, well, is this the option that I want to take? There's a lot of evaluating happening and a lot of connecting in with your emotions, but having to feel some really difficult emotions as well. And then with the outcome energy here, or the advice energy, we have the Two of Wands. So I do see a plan being made. I do see something moving forward, but I feel like it's a couple steps back from where you are now. This could indicate that you do come together because, you know, in coming together, you will now have to start your relationship in a different way. Like if you were long distance, now you are going to start it's a new beginning while you're together. The other thing could be that you're starting to, this is also a card of prospecting. So this could indicate, there's a couple of different outcomes here because it's a general reading, but you'll probably feel which one sounds right for you, hopefully. Leave me a comment down below. But it feels like you could be looking out for more options. It's almost like for some of you, I feel like with this, what's hidden is like you've kind of already let this relationship go, and you're looking off in the distance in remembrance of them in the future. Or looking forward to a new start with them, or you're looking for someone else, okay? And for your person, there's still a lot of hope here. There is a very cosmic and loving and bright and illuminating connection, and this person really, really wishes that this could happen. So whether it does or not, there is a very strong wish and desire here. And because of all of this long distance energy, it'll be really interesting to see what your physical connection is. So it may not be that it is a physical separation. It could just be that you're not really in a lot of communication or not in each other's physical presence a lot. Maybe you've had to distance, or maybe with the caretaking, like you've had to isolate more, like you couldn't see them because of the health condition of whoever you're taking care of. You know, that could be the situation. For you, the physical connection is the Ace of Swords. Okay, so you feel very attracted to this person. I feel like they stimulate you mentally. And it's funny that it's the Ace of Swords now that I think about it, because this would be like sexting, having that kind of relationship over some form of technology, like having to communicate. So you really like the way that they communicate. You communicate really directly. I feel like you also, each of you have kinks and desires that you've been able to really explore with each other in that distance. And so there's this kind of comfort that you've developed, but there again, with like reuniting with the Two of Wands, it's like you would have to actually do that. And so for some of you, you haven't really connected with each other, but the idea is there, and there's a very strong communication about it that's happening right now. There could be something about this person's voice or your voice that is a huge turn on for each other. And yeah, I really feel like you are the dominant energy, okay? And they are like just like excited to be there kind of thing. And then for them, they have the Chariot. So again, more emotional energy. It's ruled by Cancer. I'm getting a lot of Cancer from them, but Leo is also present in their energy as well as Aquarius. So I feel that they are just really longing to make physical connection with you, to touch you, to hold you. I think that they try to send that out, like psychically or energetically, and I do feel like maybe for some of you, you're actually feeling that, like you're actually receiving that and feeling those vibrations and feeling their very strong intention. And you can certainly work on opening up to that more if there's more time that you're going to be separate. There's this, this person wants to attend to you physically in all ways. Like they have this innocent love, they have this tender love. So I feel like this is the kind of person who will still go on to love you and will still care about you and do anything for you regardless of how this pans out. With the, so with Cleopatra and Caesar, there is this strong desire for the two of you to create together. I don't know if you're a creative person or if this is about having a child together or about creating a home environment, just like a beautiful environment. You want to create beautiful things together. And I feel like you really admire the way that they set up their home. They also admire this about you. So that connective energy is this very mothering almost energy. You feel very nurturing toward each other, very attracted to one another. There's this softness, this beauty. And yeah, like it just feels really calm, really special, really peaceful. Almost like the feeling that you really want to capture when you're on vacation, I feel like. So maybe it's that you met when you were on vacation, and so you were feeling that way. You were in vacation mode when you met. One of the things I want to say is that your person may try to let you go, okay? They may try to let you go because they believe that you deserve better, or they believe that they're holding you back in some way, and they are wanting to do this with love. They're letting you go with love, but they want you to know that their love is undying, okay? This could also, because of the fertility here, I'm getting that this could be that your partner is not able to make children and you want children, and so they're going to let you go so that you can have that. Maybe you accepted that you wouldn't have children. Maybe they already have children, and you were sort of like, oh, okay, well, I can, I love your family. I can just, be part of that family, and I'm cool to go with that. But they are really feeling like you're a dream come true, but you need to have your wishes and your dreams come true. Okay? So the advice card says, let go, enjoy the pulsing light of the firefly, but don't hold on too tight. Yeah, and this is the thing here, right? There's something, and I feel like you're caught in this energy. Like, do I let this go, or do I keep it? And I think there's a beautiful connection here. You're certainly very loved, and so I can see why this is such a difficult thing. So it's about determining when it's right to let it go and when it's not. For some of you, I feel like it might be worth seeing each other in person one more time. That's a bit of advice that's coming through, that I think your answer will come when you see each other, and then you'll know from there what is the way forward, because there is potential here. There is the way forward here. You know, it's almost carried on the back of this emotional current, this undying love that your person has for you. We have the card of retreat, spoil yourself in the morning mist, breathe in nature's sweet scents. I feel like your person can sense this morning, even though it's hidden. I feel like they can sense it, and I feel like they want you to enjoy your life. They don't want you to be caught up in this. I'm really getting their energy very strongly. They don't want you to be held back by them or to be burdened by them. I don't know why they feel this way about themselves. I don't know if these things are true about them or not. Like if they have some kind of, like if they're, because of their age, there's some kind of condition that they have, or if they're, like if they just have really low self-confidence, or they're just dismayed by the distance, like feeling like they're going to destroy your life. It's worth really evaluating that. Like, is this going to be a better life that you're moving into when you connect? If you leave what you leave behind here, are you going to find a new family, a new a new life, and see that the other choices you thought you had were just illusions, and this is the right one for you? And I think it's really difficult right now to be able to tell. And with friends, the most unlikely friendships can form like variegated lichens on hard rock. They create a tight bond. So there's definitely a tight bond here. I also feel like there is, with this lovely energy, if you feel like what you're going toward is better than what you're leaving behind, even if what you're leaving behind is something really beautiful and really lovely, or maybe this is them, if you feel like what they are leaving behind is really beautiful and really lovely, and they are not going to have a better life where you are. I forget the example I gave. I feel like they're in Australia and you're in the US. So if you're like, they live in this beautiful like oceanside town in Australia, and they have like this really beautiful community, and they're going to be coming to move in with you, and you live in like an apartment in the middle of the city, and you don't really know anybody, and you're just kind of like, you're there because you like grind hard, like you work hard or something like that. And so they would be leaving like this beautiful scenic place for something that is maybe a bit harsher and less welcoming. Then that's something to consider, right? And I feel like you're both considering that now, and it's really actually kind of, I feel for you, because there's so much love here. So the story of Cleopatra and Caesar, I'm just going to read this to you before we close out the reading. It says, Cleopatra, queen of the fertile Nile, reigned as empress of Egypt for over 2 decades. During this time, and that was a lot back then because they died young. It's like 2 decades. The queen's been a queen for like 900 years. During this time, she became known throughout the ancient world for her seductive charms, musical voice, and unusual intelligence. Caesar immediately fell in love with the young queen, and I can't read. When I channel, my eyes don't work, so just a moment. And successfully helped her regain her throne. Right? Together they had a child they named Caesarion. So I feel like this is really, maybe look into that story a little bit deeper. what I was really feeling from that is that idea that he helps her regain her throne. Okay? So if this person is feeling like they are not, you know, and maybe you're seeing this reversed. I wanted to say that at the beginning, but I feel like for some of you, you are the, in this example, you are the Australian person and the other person is in the US. But I feel like there is that to keep in mind, you know, that life could be better with each other, and that yes, there are a lot of sacrifices to be made, or there is a lot of changes to be made, but in the end it could be something really truly beautiful. I think either way it is something very beautiful. This is a love that not everyone gets to feel. Okay, so this is what I have for you. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye. All right, if you chose pile number 4, this is your reading with the Queen of Cups as the overall energy, Isolde. And let's get into it. So these have been meaty readings. If you need a drink, get a drink. Make yourself comfortable. We've got some things to go over, although I think this reading might be a little bit faster. Just because it's very direct, okay? We have a lot of air and a lot of fire energy. All right, now what I want to say, I don't actually want to start at the beginning. I want to start with your physical connection. I want to start with the Two of Cups and the Lovers, okay? On the physical level, this relationship feels like a divine connection. It feels like soulmate love. It feels like a very deep connection. In your energy, we have the Two of Cups, so this is like unity. It's almost like you feel like you become one. This is the definition of making love. This is the definition of intimacy and closeness when it comes to sex and physical touch. It feels like almost like if they touch you, it's like you just feel alive, and there's so much emotional flow between the two of you. In your person's energy is the Lovers, okay? So these are two very strong cards to come out in a reading, especially like Two of Cups and the Lovers. With this Lovers card, what it's telling me is that your person is just a very strong lover. So they have this intimate connection with other people. This is part of who they are as a lover, okay? Their Venus could be, or their Mars could be in Gemini. Yeah, or fire sign, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. Doesn't have to be, but it's a love reading, so I like to look at the Venus and especially Mars here with the Gemini. It feels to me like your person, I'm not really getting that they are particularly committed to this relationship. There could be, and you would know about this, there could be other partners. Like, I don't feel like they're exclusively with you, but it feels like when they are with you, they are with you. Okay, let's take a look at your energy in this relationship and their energy. We start with the Nine of Pentacles for you. So you're coming in as an independent person, someone who has created their own home, their own environment, their own opportunities, or you can support yourself. You are someone who can support and take care of yourself, and I feel like you may spend long periods of time being single, or you are just very comfortable being single when you are. Some people need to continuously be in a relationship. I don't feel like you are that way at all. I feel like you are perfectly okay with just what you with being by yourself, but there is a desire to kind of to couple up and to have that relationship. Obviously, you're watching a love reading, right? Your person has a lot of fiery energy toward you. We have the 6 of Wands, so they're very attracted to you. They feel like you're a score. They feel like, in terms of someone they feel like the sex is really good. They're really into it. They're really attracted to you. Or if you haven't had sex yet, they're excited for it. They're looking forward to it. They're like, yeah, this is going to be a win. Like, they really feel like they won finding you. Okay, so I feel like there's a lot of charm in your person as well, that they come across as very enthusiastic or charming, and there's a strong magnetism as well. So they kind of bring you out of your habitual self, or your more practical self, or your because what I'm seeing in your block is a reliance on practicality, and that you need a lot of time to really assess things and think things through. And their energy is more to push things forward. Your energy is more to kind of like sit back and wait and look and make sure that everything is in its right place. And this is what's blocking you in this connection, is just not really feeling entirely safe, I want to say. It's almost like you can feel all of this good stuff that's above board. You can feel like, oh, we're very attracted to each other if you have been together. I started with the physical connection, and I didn't do that with any other reading, so maybe there's a significance there for you. So maybe you have been together, and physically it feels like, this is a very giving person, I feel, in bed, right? Like, they are into it, but I think that they're also into you being into it. And so, you're like, oh, all of this stuff's above board, but there's this one little piece of the foundation that's iffy to you. Okay, there's this seed of doubt that's been planted. There's this one thing that makes you feel kind of unsafe about this person. And I think it's because they are coming forward in such a charming and dynamic way, and because they are so attractive, and because there is so much magnetism, and like, they're so attracted to you, and you're like, what's the catch, is almost what's blocking you. Now, in their energy is commitment. What is blocking them is commitment. They do not want commitment. Okay, this person does not want commitment, or they are already in a commitment. Okay, so they can't progress this, and if they are, you would know about that. But it would be a situation where they can't really bring the relationship forward because there's no intention of changing this. I don't feel like this person is someone who is going to be like, oh, maybe I'll be committed, or maybe I'll end my relationship that's already existing. It could be that they are, for some of you, I'm really getting, and especially with the lovers, and I think this may be why I started here. For some of you, I feel like they are in an open relationship. And sometimes when people are in open relationships, they can be very emotionally present, very passionate, very attracted to another person, but they have no intentions of ever leaving their partner because they have open and free communication, particularly if it's a healthy open relationship. It's just, that's not their interest. And hopefully, if they are in that situation, they've been honest and open with you about it, right? So if that is the case, there's a need for a lot of communication. I do see that there's a lot of communication between you when we come into the energy of what's connecting you. We have the 10 of Swords. The 10 of Swords to me is saying a number of things. The 10 of Swords is indicating a lot of talking, a lot of communication, but it's also indicating that for some of you, you're not letting this get past communication. Like you're blocking them from coming into like physical union with you, or from being in your life because of this seed of doubt, or and this could be a seed of doubt of like, that they're in an open relationship and you're not really sure if you can do that or not, like if that's something that is really for you. With all of your earthy energy, I don't see that being an ideal situation for you. But then also earth signs can be really practical. So it's you know, it's like, do you just want to get your needs met, or do you want commitment, right? And I really do feel like with this physical connection and with what's in your desires and everything like that, I do feel like you want something more than that. But if not, you know, I mean, that's what you're trying to decide here, right? Also with the Ten of Swords, I feel like there could be a lot of pain between the two of you. So this could be a situation where they are your ex as well, or you were in a commitment with them at some point and they cheated on you. Or it could be a situation and it's just not, it's like in the connecting energy now. Like it's something that you just can't get over. You just can't get over that they are with someone else, or that they won't commit to you, and there's this like back and forth and this like negotiation that keeps happening in the shared space, but it's not really going anywhere. And with the Hermit, I see that, you know, this is Virgo energy. I see that there is in the shared space two people that are just keeping to themselves emotionally. So it's very interesting that you had the Two of Cups and the Lovers in your physical connection energy, because it's not reflected in the rest of the cards. And I think, and your overall energy also was the Queen of Cups. So it's like a relationship that looks like love. It looks like love, deep connection, soulmates, the whole thing. But underneath it all is two people keeping to themselves, is not sharing their energy, not sharing their emotions, and this kind of blockage on commitment. But let's keep moving forward and see what's hidden. So maybe there's something else that we need to know. We have the Temperance card, and I did pull the Temperance card reverse. So some of these cards I pulled reverse, and I'm just noting that as I'm reading them. With the Temperance card and the Knave of Swords in reverse, what's hidden is that this person is talking to someone else, potentially about your situation, or this person is coming to the point where they do not want to talk anymore. The imbalance that's happening here is not a divine imbalance. It's not something, this is not something that the divine is trying to help you manifest. It could very well be a lesson with the Temperance energy here, but it's more or less that it feels like this connection is driven by your mind. Like you can make justifications for them, for their behavior, or make justifications for why this connection should move forward, or, you know, it's that kind of negotiating with yourself. So let's say it's a situation where they're in this open relationship and you're like, well, I could do that because, you know, this, and this. And like, I don't need this, or I don't need that. Like, it's like a very logical, rational kind of argument that you're having with yourself about this, and it doesn't really have anything to do with, like, it's not nourishing. I feel like what's hidden here is that your angels, your guides, I never say angels, so maybe angels resonate with you, your guides, your ancestors, whoever guides you, your inner guidance system even, is telling you no. It's telling you no. And this person isn't going to cut it off. Like, they're not going to cut it off because they're not looking for what you're looking for, okay? The other thing I'm getting here in what's hidden is that you fundamentally disagree on a values level. Your values are different, right? You just don't have the same needs and desires. So yes, while you will have this really beautiful, like, connective intimacy and physical relationship, mentally, this is a landmine. This is just, okay, so let's move on to what I see coming for you in the near future. What I see coming for you is that a truth is spoken, okay? Things are laid out on the table. A conversation is had. Truth revealed, where you're fully ready and willing to accept that you don't agree, and that means that you have to walk away. I see you walking away. I see you moving on. I see you moving on to bigger and better things and toward a different form of stability. There is a kind of, I want to say there's there's this desire in you to tie this up neatly with a ribbon, but I think it's really more or less that you just kind of part ways. This person is fairly aloof about it. I don't feel like they have any kind of, they just kind of sneak off, you know, and they're like, okay. And I think that's the hurtful part, honestly. I think that's the most hurtful part of all of this, is the lack of emotional investment that this person actually has or is willing to express. And I think that what you are moving toward is a more honest, it's like this person poses as honest because they communicate, or you think they're posing as honest because they communicate, but you feel like, oh, but like if you have been with them, you're like, but that physical connection, it was so good, like they're lying, like they want to be with me and they don't, right? So there's some brutal honesty, if you're still listening, that's needed here. But we're gonna get some more messages moving forward, like for you, okay? Because I think that this is it's worthwhile to just kind of be like, nah, like it seems like this person could be a good fit for you. I feel like you're just going to get too attached to them and they're really not going to satisfy you is what I'm feeling. Or, you know, remember that you've got this really beautiful love to give and you've got this really strong independence. Like you don't need this in your life. Is it worth it? Like if you've been evaluating, is it worth hooking up with this person? I wouldn't. I mean, yeah, it's great sex, but like it's a lot of mental turmoil, and that's just not something that, I don't know, that maybe that's just me, but like it's just not something that I think would serve you going forward. That's why we have all the other piles had two people in the card. This one has the Queen of Cups. This is talking about your intuitive sensibility here as well. So while you're weighing those pros and cons, and while you're going through all of this thinking and everything, you're reminded that you know that seed. Like you had that seed of doubt the whole time. You knew the whole time, or you know the whole time. And it's not about like saying, well, I knew the whole time, stupid me. No. It's being like, you knew the whole time. That's a skill you have. That's there for you. So the next time you have that feeling, you can tap into that, right? And you can come into this really strong, loving, beautiful Queen of Cups energy. We have the card Forget-Me-Not, Remembrance, Memories, and the Past hold the key. This is again really talking about, I feel like almost like this person reminds you of someone, and that's why you were interested in them. Interesting. Like it almost felt like a memory to be with them. Like that's where, so if you were with them physically, maybe it reminded you of someone, and that's where your emotional intimacy came from. So you thought you were connecting with this person, but you were actually connecting with someone from the past. That may be something to look at, reflect on, is like, who are you holding in your heart still? It's not this person. I really don't feel like, you may feel that now. It may feel really sharp. It may feel really acute, but it is acute. Like it's not chronic. It's you move on from this. With status adaptation, change will be better than you think. Yes, you're moving towards something that's really, really beautiful. I feel like this physical connection says more about you than it does about you with this person. It says about where you're at. So if you had a problem with intimacy and now you don't, like now you know you can open up, it's not because of that person. It's not because of this person. It's because of you. It's because you have changed, you have grown, and you're ready to walk into a situation with your lover, the person who is going to commit to you or who is going to serve you in that way. Now, I guess I could say for those of you who are looking for a hookup, yeah, I mean, I do feel like this person kind of like gives off shady vibes sometimes, like, or there's just something about them that's like kind of mentally frustrating. There may be something about them that's kind of annoying. So if you're willing to put up with being annoyed, then sure, okay. But like, you know, make your own choices. But I'm just telling you what's there. And I want to talk to you about this Queen of Cups a little bit more. I want to tell you the story of Isolde to maybe help you, I don't know, reinforce you. So, it doesn't tell you about Isolde. Why? Oops. Okay. Oh, it's only the major arcana that tells stories. Okay, but if you know that, maybe look up the story of Tristan and Isolde, because that may be important to you. And this may actually, I feel like the story, I don't know the story. I wish I did, but it may be that the story is going to lead to, I feel like she was married to an old king and then chose, and like, it's kind of like Arthur and that story. But I'm not sure. Mark? Anyway, so look up that story and see if that is resonant for you in some way or if that guides you in some way. But a lot of this is talking about how you've emotionally mastered something. So maybe you had difficulties in the past and that's why you were always single, or why you needed to be independent and not in relationships. And this is really, I feel like even the experience you've had with this person has shown you how much you've grown and how much you are able to honor yourself. And so keep up with that. That's really beautiful. And I feel like you will, by letting this situation go, you are just making that space. It's like you don't have the time for this. You don't have time for this endless negotiation, this like resistance, ghosting. Like, I feel like this person comes in and out a lot. They're really enthusiastic about your body. They think you're really attractive, which can feel really nice and really flattering. But, you know, what you want is something more mature than that, honestly. Something more grown up is what I'm getting. All right, so this is a message I have for you. Thank you so much for joining. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.